Hello viewers, and welcome to the 7th video of CCNA networking. The next topic we're going to do for this lab is connecting to the internet. Yes, all about connecting to the internet. We'll be dealing with NATs, network address translation, DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol, and PAT, port address translation. All the wonderful stuff. Satellite default route. This is essential for connecting to internet. They're pure essential. So we're going to resume the lab. This is my second attempt doing this. Last time for the first two tasks it took 30 minutes. And that's too long. So I'm going to reload the config for every one of them. So I'm going to try to do a bit better this time. So first of all, we're going to do a menu IP and we're going to do a static default route. So we'll go to the branch router and we shall open this up and hopefully it can load. And we're going to verify the IP. So we're going to do show IP interface brief. There is no IP address. As you see, the static is up, protocol is up. Line protocol is up and running, but there are no IP assigned. So we shall solve this problem. We'll go into level 15 config. We'll type the interface e/6.1. We're now going to assign the IP address .1 followed by the subnet. It's actually /27. CIDR notation, it would be a /27. For those who are studying this, you need to know them. I can tell you /25, the last one would be a 192. /26 would be a 0.192. That would be for a /26. /27 would be 0.224. /28 would be a 0.240. That would follow on by 0.248, followed by 0.252, followed by 0.254. And you have to know the binary. You know how to convert the binary to decimal, and vice versa. That hexadecimal, you need to know that. You have to know what the decimal of. It could be written like that: 0xFF. That's 255. The binary could be written like. Alright, next part is, and we do the same thing here, but I have to put it to IP interface brief so quickly, and we do have IP address, and this is the method that I have used. The first one is manual. Now this one is not a file here, WAM, but as you see it has changed the manual because I use manual set up the IP address. The other method like DHCP, we get to that soon enough. Alright, for the branch router, we want to ping the headquarter router. Now we should be able to ping. Yeah, it is directing connect. You see, I made a mistake on that. And that's why my video was 30 minutes long, because I made that type of mistake. We do show IP route. We can show IP route as the neighbor, and lo and behold, we do have one. So you know how to connect to it. Now for the branch router, we need to ping the service at 132. Now this one going to fail. And I know why it's going to fail. Well, first of all, you'll see why. First of all, I'm going to ping this one. I have the IP route up there. Okay, you just type escape to abort. As you see, it is failing. And I tell you why. Simple. Well, for me. The question is, how are you going to get 132.16.1.100? We don't need to know how to get to that. You didn't know what decision. You had to make a decision where you're going to route to. You can't route to every router in order to find that. It doesn't work. You get messed up. It doesn't work. Yeah, there could be another one that had default route. It doesn't work. You have to know. You have to find a route. You have to find a word that can take you to this. And let's see. That's not it. There's no static route that can lead you to this. Yeah, verify the router table. You show IP route. Yeah, there you go. Now we need to configure a static default route. Actually, I'm going to do a static route. I'm going to do IP route. I'm going to do a normal static route for a change. So you go to configuration mode. You go to IP route. Okay, IP route is the key thing. And then you're going to type your network 132.16.1.0 followed by your mask, because the reason why we need the mask is we want to compare the IP address you're trying to get to this. And how this is going to work is you're going to take this one and you're going to mask it off. That is why. Now IP route max, you're followed by the hop address. I go to job A, bring this up here, show you the hop address. This is the hop address. You just need to hop to it, where you need to go to that hop address. There your IP route. Hit enter. Do show IP route. I had to put in do. Now we have a static route. It now know how it does get there. And the administrative distance 1. It can be changed, by the way. And I show you how to do that. And where it hopped to. And it is visible subnetted to subnet to mask. So now we're going to try to ping that again. You see, I did that mistake again. It does ping because I know where it get to. And HQ is able to ping that too. Right, now we're not going to save the config, but if you want to do so, you go to neighbor, you go copy 1, start. That's how you save. And I do not have to verify the branch table because I had done that already. Now remove, yes. But there's another way. So I'm going to look for the IP route and put a no in front of that. And I will change it to a static route. In order to do a static route, you enter all 0. This is a default static route or a route of last resource. As in the router, this will only be used as the last resource. The reason why is the last resource is if there is an IP route that it doesn't know, if it doesn't know whether it's bad one or the good one, it doesn't matter about the IP address, it doesn't matter about the mask, it's going to send to that route. And notice the trustworthiness. So if I ping that again, it do the exact same thing. And there'd be a next star. Is a default static route. And by static, it doesn't change. Oh, and there is a dynamic route too. So now we're going into no IP. Well, we're going to get rid of that. Oh, yeah. So we're going to get rid of that. Now, one thing you should know about it is you can change the distance. Look, I'm going to enter 2. There is another parameter. If I could. Okay, it's a distance metric for this source. That's a visitor distance. So enter 2 here. I do that. And I do a show IP route. And we now have changed the IP to 2. Now, and then I'm going to remove this. Okay, and then I draw IP route. It's gone. Now that's pretty much covered on the IP route. Check the time. Okay, 11 minutes. That's good enough. Alright, next one is a DHCP obtain IP address. And we just remove the IP route for a reason. There's a reason why. As we have removed it, we stay on branch router. Now, we need to obtain the IP address from DHCP. And believe it or not, there is a DHCP service. And it had contained all the pool, it had everything is done. That will be covered in more detail. Just assume there is a DHCP server for now. But I can tell you, it come. But normally there is a DHCP pool. It's select one of those pool and pull it in. That will be covered in more detail. Alright, now next one is configure terminal. We'll go to internet E/01. Now we'll go into the IP level, IP config, and we'll go to the IP address. Now DHCP. You see how you get it. We do the DHCP. We click enter. It's going to take a moment to find address for that interface. You're gonna get some of the pool. It has found one. It'd be 209.165.21.1. If that address exists already for somewhere, it get the next one. It probably be a 0.2. Now we do verify. We do show IP internet brief. And notice the interface here one. The address is the same, but the meta, how it obtained the address, is DHCP. That is how it got the IP address. We're not going to say it's config. For those who are doing this, you can go ahead and save. You can go copy one start here. Copy at the parameter level 15. You see, level 15. You can tell. I go click in. You can tell by this one branch and. In a dash here, and you go to copy one in config, startup config as shown here, and I already have done that. Now we're going to show the IP route. Show IP route. Oh, there! Look at that! Look at that! Notice there is an asterisk. It's a static IP default route. It is a default route. See, hop address is the same. So DHCP we say the static well next hop address to the IP default gateway. Because it'd be that address in trying to get to the next one. But notice the emitter is distant. Because last time it was 1 or 2, but now here it's 254. That's 1 away from 255. Emitter distant 255 considered it untrustworthy, cannot be used. This one is very untrustworthy. Henceforth, it only can be used with the person you trust the least is the last one you want to go to. Last resource, that's it. So 254, that's one thing to watch out for. You get a question is what the emitter distance. There will be 254 if it happens to be for DHCP. If you configure yourself, it'll be 1. But you can change the emitter distance. Now for the branch router, because we're going to do that, we're going to ping 209.165.201.2. It is success. It's directly connected. Now we're going to ping 162.16.1.100, which is the service. Which is the service. I show you off again. That's the service. That 100 is a success because what it does, it looks for the IP route. The no IP. I take the route of last resource. That's a 00, and it's just sent into the next router, and the router is therefore router up to the finder address, and find a way to get to that address. It leaves into the next router. Yeah, the only really different is it could be any. It's a wide IP route. It's a wide one, but the danger of using the IP static default route is it's more risky to loop, and it takes longer. Generally, on a large network, on a really large network, this should be used. This will normally be used more often, and you're normally going to see the emitter distance very high like that. And we have done it. Now we're going to access PC1. So we'll go to PC1, and this is where we're heading toward near NAT. You see why. Soon enough. So we want to do the same thing here. Ping 209.165.201.1. Ensure you can get to the router. So we know straight away you can get to the branch router. No problem there. But sadly, the major problem here, you can get to it. But if we try to pin it here, remember the router one can ping 172.16.1.100. It can ping that. Make no mistake, it can ping that. I mean, it can ping to the branch router. That's why we need to ping that. Just prove it. You can send the IP so we can bring further. Now, normally, overall, physically, it should be able to ping back. But, yeah, well, generally, there is a layer 3 connectivity. So everything go wide, as normally in this situation, in normal thing, it would work. But not in this case. This will going to fail. And I know why it has failed. Okay, I can tell you. I give you a scoop of the private address. It relates to private and the public address. So, for this reason, we're going to do debug. Do I have time? Alright, we do have a bit of time. So, next one is, I can tell you the private address, 10.0.0.0/. 168 is a private network. Another private network would be 132.16 slash, and listen to this, and you're going to be, and actually you're going to be slash 16 slash, actually no, sorry, my mistake. The second one would be 132.16 slash 12. I put this down, 132.16.1 slash 12. That means the subnet mask would be 240. That's the subnet mask. The next one is 192.168.0.0 slash 16. Watch out for the subnets. And the subnets would be, those are 3 private addresses. You see, pinning this, and we form a private address, that is a private address. Now, we need a telnet. So we need a telnet to the headquarters. Now we're going, now the headquarters has control over this. So we're going to debug ICMP. ICMP packet debugger is on, and the terminal monitor. So now we go to terminal monitor. So we can direct a debug message to the telnet section using terminal monitor. Now we're going to do that same ping again. Do that same ping, and watch this. That one, that's another one. Third one coming. This is the third one. Number 4 and number 5. Okay, so now we have fair, and we're going to see why it has fair. So here it's saying echo reply sent. And there your source, that's an IP address. But there is a problem. Destination, but what is? Destination is IP also. That's also an IP address. We cannot do that. So we're going to see what is the problem. What is the problem here? It could not be in. It could be imaging on branch router to provide connection between PC1 and the server. It's NAT. It's related to NAT. The problem is we cannot have. The real problem is we had 2 private. It couldn't ping. No, it could not. Well, it can get to it because but the problem is you can try to ping that. You can try to ping it, but you get no acknowledgement back. But you won't get that acknowledgement because it's not aware of the network is PC coming. The headquarters is not aware of the network that PC1 is coming from. And discard the returning packet. So we see this. However, the headquarters is not aware of the network that PC is coming from. So if we go back to headquarters here, go to show IP route. Of the network that PC is coming from, and therefore okay, and if I just go through and same thing. And if I go back to PC, the bottom is 1.100. So in other words, sadly for the headquarter point of view, is it doesn't know how to get back. This way, it's all related to the static route. This headquarter does not have a static route on how to get that 16.1, how to get 10.1.1. How do you get that? How to get to that destination here? As you see, it does not have the route. So saying it doesn't know how it gets that address, the headquarter, how to get back. You know how to get back. It drop it. And you see that the echo, it dropped the package. Alright. Alright, and nearly done here. Step 13, return to HQ tenant, disable to debug and exit the tenant. Okay, up here. So we're going to undebug. Okay, and now we have it all turn off. And now we hit exit to go back to the branch. Right, viewers, 27 minutes gone. So that is all for this video. I'm sorry it's a long video, but the reason I take it a bit slow is I make sure most of them understand. I only teaching you in the point. I only teaching you because there are some people is only a beginner, and I do have to take account of that. I saw the way it has to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a long video, but I pretty much explained it pretty well. And so please rate, subscribe, and comment on my video. And I see you next time.